Okay, my presentation this time, my primary presentation, is manifesting our greatest potential. And it's based upon the notion that who we are as human beings is already incredibly magnificent, incredibly sacred, that in all of us there's an amazing potential, that thought of, oh my gosh, maybe I really do have something to give, is really true. And so it's not so much about changing people or giving people another notebook to go on the shelf, as it is a process where they start to drop away what's not them. In other words, they start to drop away the fear, the self-doubt, the hurt from the past, the self-judgment, the false belief systems, all the gunk that sabotages our lives and holds us back from expressing what's already there. What I do is I help people have an experience where that stuff falls away. And then, man, do their lives take off. They discover their purpose, they throw their lives into it, and boy, do they tap into something that is uncommon in our world. I think really, if there's a common theme here, part of that is that what we create on the outside begins with what takes place on the inside. If you could imagine, if you had a button and you could push that button and instantly you had 10 times your personal energy consistently, and you had 10 times your self-confidence, and you had 10 times your passion to make a difference. If you could push that button, man, look at how your life would change. Look at the difference that would be made. So that becomes evidence for people that truly what we create on the outside begins with what's going on the inside. So the opportunity here is to take dominion over what is taking place internally, and then things start showing up externally. We live in a culture that is very adept mentally and very adept technologically and physically and financially, but not so adept in how we navigate internally. So the frontier that we can explore that makes a difference is how do you find that inner roadmap so that you can really live that way, and then out of that we start to manifest things externally. That's one piece of it. And then I think that sometimes in an environment like this, we can get so spiritual and so emotional and often kind of in the clouds that we forget that we do live in a physical universe. The term that I've heard used for that is when we try a spiritual bypass. And that doesn't work very well either. So it's when you combine your skill level for navigating internally with your ability to be effective in the physical universe, put those two together and get ready to start making impact. So bottom line, I think that's my hit on manifestation. So one of the points that I like to share in the seminars in the area of keys to manifestation has to do with something called self-confidence. And we all know about self-confidence. What a lot of us don't know is that we confuse self-confidence with self-competence. So people will say, oh, I've got a great deal of self-confidence, and what they're really saying is that they're proficient in what it is that they do. Self-confidence, though, self-confidence is more akin to self-esteem. It more has to do with relationship with self. And of course, we live in a culture where we're taught you got a relationship with everybody else. What do you mean, relationship with self? But there is a way that we relate to ourselves. And once people really see, oh my gosh, that's true. There is a way that I relate to me. I have a relationship with me. The next thing they see is, oh my gosh, that relationship needs some work. And it's a great realization because then they can do something about it. Well, one of the primary things that they can focus on is this realm of self-confidence. If you take a look, there is a one-to-one relationship between self-confidence and our productivity. You've got an employee with really low self-confidence, it affects productivity. If you all of a sudden, like I said, had 10 times your self-confidence, you could push that button and you had 10 times the self-confidence, what would happen to your effectiveness? What would happen to your ability to communicate? What would happen to your personal energy? What would happen to your ability to produce the results that you want in your life? So we talk to people about self-confidence in a very pragmatic way. And the most incredible thing comes up. People start to realize that to really take dominion over self-confidence would actually be a little bit scary, because there's not a lot of permission in our culture to be great. There's a lot of permission to be lousy, you know, to have all the problems and to be the victim, but not a lot of permission to really step into your greatness, because we believe that self-confidence is the same thing as arrogance, and we don't want to be arrogant. And when we cut that off, the only thing that's left is really putting ourselves down, and boy, can we do that well. Well, consider the possibility that not only do you have a relationship with you, but you have a duty to you, and a duty to fan the flames of that self-confidence so that you can manifest, so that you can make the difference that you want to make, not in an arrogant way, but in a beautiful, humble, grateful way. That is a key to manifestation.
Well, manifestation, obviously, all of the people that are at the festival right now talk about manifestation, because otherwise you would go back to being a victim, right? So if you take full responsibility for your life, that also means that as I am the person responsible, I am also the creator. Because otherwise, what am I responsible for? So obviously, I am the creator of my life. I am not the creator necessarily of my circumstances. Circumstances happen, you know, they have also something to do with the outside world. But I am the creator of how I take it and how I go with whatever is happening, how I react to it. I can see the opportunity or I can see the problem. And manifestation for me is looking at the opportunity and seeing the opportunity. And saying, okay, I wished it had been different, you know, as we do say quite often, oh, I wish it had been different, but this is an opportunity here, there's a learning here, so that I can do it better next time and I get a better result the next time. And for me, manifestation also has a lot to do with visualizing, with knowing, first of all, or the most important, I almost forgot that, is knowing what you want. 95% of the people in the Western world have no clear direction in life. I mean, for me, this is mind-boggling. But if you don't know where you're going, how can you ever expect to get there? It's like jumping into your car and, you know, accelerating, but you don't know in which direction you want to go, where you're going to end up. So people need to understand that before they can achieve anything in life, they got to know what they want to achieve, you know, and then what they want to manifest. Who do I want to be? And this is what I work on all the time. And it really works. But it doesn't work the way that we've been brought up, you know, these cookie cutter methods.
Try that one more time, yeah. It's a tongue twister.
The cookie cutter methods that we've been brought up with, our educational system, doesn't work, you know, because every one of us is different, every one of us is an individual, and we have our own strengths, our own dreams, our own visions of life. And because of our educational system and our whole system really in general, we've been sort of compressed into a certain box. And quite a lot of us are trying to break out of that box and are breaking out of that box, finally, quite a few. And I believe that we will reach that critical mass quite soon, you know, that critical mass of, I think, only 2.5% are necessary to turn the whole world around. And we are going in that direction. And we're manifesting that each and every one, every single day. And it's a step-by-step process. People talk about quantum leaps all the time. The quantum leaps happen after you've taken thousands of little steps, you know, and suddenly you reach your destiny and it's like, oh, how did that happen? And that's the quantum leap, you know. So.
It sounds like I keep repeating myself, but people manifest what they want in their lives by being aware, by being in their body. Awareness starts in your body. Know what's going on for you. Know what your motivation is. Know what you're paying attention to. Know what your perceptions are. And then once you know that, if you don't like it, you can change it. It's very, very simple. If you really reach in and you know what's happening inside of you, you can choose anything you want. And then that manifests in the outside world. It's as simple as that.
It's very interesting that people have a different understanding of manifestation. I once had that understanding. I thought that manifestation meant, okay, I'm done with it, I've manifested, let's roll. That's not what it means. Manifestation is in fact a spirit realized. You realizing that you are spirit. And in that you have to understand that this event here is the catalyst for igniting that manifestation in the lives of the attendees and even the speakers that are here. We are becoming more realized and realizing our true selves.